everyone, thanks for joining us for this episode of the Doobert webinar. So today we're going to be looking at how we can create a rehoming case and basically manage our rehoming program through the CCM module. So the great thing about this is that you'll be able to manage all of your rehoming requests and give them additional resources, all things like that. So whether you do a self-rehoming or you give them rehoming assistance through the organization, all things like that, you can really customize your processes through CCM based on how you want to communicate and basically how you want to share your animal profiles. So let's get started. So if you're new to our webinars, what we do is we go through just a brief slideshow, kind of walking through everything we're going to talk about. And then once we're done with that, we're going to hop into the system. We're going to basically walk through everything we talked about here. So I'm going to show you guys how to create your case, your rehoming case, and what to do with your tags, all things like that, and just give you some ideas of how you can set that up. And then we'll also walk through any of the communication features that you might want to use for your rehoming program. And then we'll once we're done with that, we'll hop back into the slideshow and we'll just go through a brief Q&A towards the end, and that'll be it. So for our overview, we're going to want to create a case for every rehoming applicant that we get. So whether they call in, they email, or they use a form, what you'll do with that is basically you'll want to either manually put all this in, or if you are on our owner surrender rehoming plan, you will have a form to start collecting your request that will automatically open the case for you. So no matter what route you pick, I'm going to show you guys how to do it manually and free. So now we can create an animal profile for the animal in need of rehoming, whether they're rehoming 2 pets, 1 pet, all things like that. We can add animal profiles to that case. So that's where we're going to store all of our animal information, all things like that. So their breed, age, any medical concerns that maybe a new owner should know. And we can also assign this animal profile to a foster as well if they are going to be moved into a foster home. And then we can also choose our privacy setting to showcase an animal for adoption. So if they are doing the rehoming program and they want to showcase the animal publicly, the organization can choose to create an animal profile and have it be viewable to other organizations or also just the general public if you're looking on Doobert's available animals page. So basically, this is a great way to get publicity for your animals that are up for adoption, or we can also send this out to any of our potential adopters through a template and see if they might be interested and kind of give them a high-level view of this animal. So for the rehoming cases, we're going to want to put all of our key information on the applicants, for example, the struggles, the reason that they want to rehome, all things like that, depending on what you like to collect, whether it may be a lifestyle change or basically all things like that, so your organization can maybe offer resources if they have any available. And then this is also how we're going to store our contact information for the case, because this is going to be a really fast way to communicate with them through either email or text. And we can use the rehoming dropdowns in the additional information tab of the case to kind of give our organization a little bit of information about the case. So I'll show you guys those once we get into the system. And like I said, we're going to want to create an animal profile for every animal that is being rehomed. We're going to put in all of their necessary medical information, pet information, notes, all things like that that a new owner should have access to. We're going to create a public privacy setting on these so we can then share these with potential adopters, fosters, all things like that. But if you choose to keep them private, that is totally fine too. But for my example, we're going to have an ambassador page. And then I really like to suggest using likes and dislikes for compatibility fields to basically best match them into a new home, because we can search by these as well. So say we have an adopter and they have a fenced yard, for example, and this pet requires a fenced yard, then we can easily pick them out. And that is it for our slides. So now we're going to hop in the system and start building our rehoming case. Okay, so this is our organization dashboard. This is basically your place to go if you're looking for any resources. So I just want to point this out before we get into creating the case. We have some getting started guides, tutorials, FAQs, videos right here. If you're looking for any specific processes, you can click on these folders and probably find what you're looking for. But other than that, we are going to head over into our cases. So I'm going to click on Companion Case Management right here, and I am going to click on Cases. And we're going to create a new case right here. So this is our little plus sign. So that is how we're going to start off by creating our case. So I'm going to click on add. And we're going to put the case name as the pet owner that's looking to rehome. So for example, we are just going to put Sam Smith, for example, and then we're going to put a status in here. I have new app here, but as you can see, we have quite a few different ones in here, depending on what you want to keep it as, but I think I'm going to keep this as a new app, basically a rehoming application. And then for our case type, we are going to choose rehome right here, just so we can easily search all of our rehoming cases and categorize them. So then in our case description, we can put in any information that we want to on the case, for example, why they might be rehoming, things they might be going through, all things like that. So really any important information that you want to just type out and store within the case description is a great place for that. So we are just going to put something brief in here as an example. Whoops. Okay, so we have a little bit about the case. For example, if they are just looking for resources, they would like to keep their pet if they can find a solution, or if they can't, we can just put that in here as well, and then we're going to start filling in our contact information again. We can put in the address if we have one. If we don't, it's not required, so totally up to you what you want to put in there. I'm just going to put in a phone number really quick and an email so we can send communications. That looks good. And I'm going to put in a zip code. You can do all zeros as a zip code just to get past that required field. But all this looks good. I have all of our required fields filled in, so we're going to go ahead and click save. So we've created our first rehoming case. So what we can do with these case tags is put some of our high-level information that we want to have front and center when we open this case, but we can also search by these tags as well. So for example, we are going to put that Sam is looking to basically rehome. For example, we can put one dog, just so it's easily searchable that he's only rehoming one pet. We can say it is a female. Basically any key information that you want to put here, we can. So that's just a couple examples right here. And then for animals, we're going to want to put an animal profile in for the pet that he is looking to rehome. So we're going to make one of those. So we're going to put in a pet name right here. We're going to do Molly, and it is a dog, and then we're just going to choose a breed. So we're going to do a mixed breed for that. And then this is the privacy setting that I was talking about that we want to have viewable to outside our organization. So we're going to put outside organizations and the general public so we can use a shareable link. So that looks great. So we're going to click create. And now we're going to start filling in all the animal information that we have from our rehoming applicant. So we're going to put in the pet's age, for example, just so we have all this information and it'll be available to any potential adopters. Whether they're female spayed, we can put in their demeanor right here, busy bee, any compatibility. So for example, they're not great with kids. We can put that in here, she's 65 pounds. If we have a birthday, we can do that. For example, we can just put in a date right there. And then I also highly recommend adding any photos of your animals as well, just because for our ambassador pages, that's a really crucial step. So I'm going to put one in here really quick. Okay, so I just added an animal photo in here. I just used mine as an example. And then here is our animal tags that we can put. So this is where we can use tags based on whether they need a fenced yard or any basically needs that they might have that might be important to a potential adopter or a foster, for example. So we're going to put fenced yard. And then we can also put basically any tags. So we can put no cats or kids, anything like that. So we'll create a new one for no cats. We can put that in here. So for example, she would be great in a home with cats. All things like that. And then down here we have some general notes sections. We have an advanced section if you want to put in any likes, dislikes, or fun facts. So we will add that she likes to fetch. And and create a new tag for that. And then we can put in a dislikes. So for example, thunderstorms, all things like that. And then these are going to be viewable in the ambassador page as well. So I highly recommend adding likes, dislikes. And then we have a couple different fields down here for intake, for example, if you're doing more of an owner surrender approach, all things like that. And then we have our clinical tab here, which is where we can store all of the animal information on basically the pet that is being rehomed. So for example, all the vaccines they've had, preventatives, tests, all things like that. I highly recommend adding those because it's just a great place to store all your information and you have all that information for the potential new adopter. So that all looks great. We have training, allergies, medical comments, all things like that. So once we're good, we're just going to click Save and Close on this animal profile. And it's going to take us back into our case. So now what we're going to do is hop into this additional info tab right here. And here is where we can put a little bit of information about why they might be rehoming. So for example, a tag about a contact, we'll put lifestyle change, things like that. So you can totally do what you want with these tags, whether you want to collect a little bit of information, more, depending on what you prefer. And then we have our internal notes about contact here, so we can put, for example, any notes, whether they're okay with the pet staying with them until it finds a new home, or whether it has to be put in foster home, all things like that if they're looking to self-rehome or they're looking for just assistance in rehoming. Really any information that you want to put here. So we can put looking to self-rehome and we'll house the animal until adopted. Oops. Okay, so looks good. We're going to click on the plus right here, and now we have a note put in for this contact. And then right here, these are pretty important to the rehoming cases. So we have a drop down for would the contact keep their pet if they were provided resources. We're going to put yes because he said that he was interested in keeping the pet if there were any resources that were able to help him out. And would the contact rehome their pet on their own if they had resources? Yes, he said he was looking to self-rehome, so we can put yes in that drop down as well, but our organization will be able to help him as well. So all that looks good for our additional information section right here. So basically that's it for our case. So now we have a rehoming case. It's completed. So now we're going to get to work in what we're going to do in terms of finding this animal a new home and giving him resources to self-rehome. So what we're going to do is we have our animal profile right here. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on the name. And this is going to bring me to their ambassador page. Okay, so once I've opened the ambassador page, this is a shareable page, so we can take this link and it can be viewed by anyone. So what we're going to do is, as you can see here, we have our likes, dislikes, any fun facts we can add. We have our photo right here, and then we have just a little bit of information about the animal and the organization that the applicant is working with in this case. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this link right here. And we're going to go back into our case right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to send him this link and tell him this is a shareable link. You can share this anywhere that you'd like to. If you're looking for resources to rehome by yourself, you can share this link anywhere, your socials, anything like that to help us find a new owner. But then we will also share this as an example of basically how we can help. So we will send this out to any adopters as well through a email or a text. So what we can do is hop over into our communication tab right here. And for example, we're just going to send it out in a text. So we're going to say, whoops, hey Sam, thanks for applying to rehome with cause for pause. We have an ambassador page ready for Molly that is shareable. So and that will reach out to our adopter network as well. So what we can do is put that link down here, and then he can share this link and basically self-rehome, or if we want to help him out, we can go ahead and send this to any of our potential adopters. So same goes for this. If we have any adopters, we'll want to create a case for them, and we can put in their preferences for adoption in there. And basically what we'll do is we'll be able to search through those cases, and we can then send this link to them and see if they might be interested in meeting Molly. But we will get into that a little bit further in one of our next webinars in terms of how we can reach out to adopters and create templates and things like that. But basically, just as an example, this is kind of how a self-rehoming program could work. So this looks good. So our text is ready. We're going to click on send. Oh, I didn't put in a valid phone number, so we're just going to copy all of this, and we're going to send it through an email, because I did put an email in. So we have all this right here. That looks great. We're going to go ahead and click send on this email. So as you can see, you do have to have a valid phone number for any of your text to send, but other than that, we have sent this out, and then here we have our conversation log right here. If we want to view the whole message, we can click on here. But other than that, this all looks good, and basically we are supporting Sam and Rehoming. We gave him a ambassador page, but we can also then basically support him by sending it out to our adopters. So in next week's webinar, we're going to follow up with how we can reach out to our adopters with templates and the ambassador pages from any of our rehoming applicants. So now we're going to jump back into the slides, and we're going to just talk through a couple quick Q&As. So our first question is, tell me a little bit more about the Doobert Owner Surrender Rehoming Program. So that's a really great question. So Doobert is offering package plans. So basically, they are program-based, so we have an owner surrender rehoming package where you'll be able to get access to pre-created forms, templates, workflows, case statuses, case types, all things like that. We set it up all for you. And basically what the form is going to do is going to be a way for you to gather requests from anyone within your area, for example, that is using your organization to rehome or surrender their pet. So what they're going to do is fill out an application form that we're going to create for you with a shareable link. You can put that on your website, your socials, anywhere you want to share it. And once an applicant fills out that form, it's going to automatically create that case. We did it manually today, but all of that work is going to be done for you with tags included, descriptions, animal profiles, all things like that is going to be automatically put into that case with no work by your organization. So that's a really great feature to these. And then we're also going to give you some workflows, templates, all things like that to follow up. And we're also going to host training sessions with your team, and we're going to teach your team how to use it and make sure that you guys are comfortable with the process. So it's a really great program, and if you're interested in learning more, let me show you guys the page that you can view all of our plans on really quick. Okay, so this is our pricing page, Doobert.com/pricing/ this is where you can view all of our package plans right here. We have them for many different programs, and basically you can choose whichever you prefer. So these all are $529 a year, and we give you everything you need to be successful in managing your program. So other than that, that is all I have for today's webinar. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and I hope to see you in our future webinars.